What's happening? It's your top dollar JayHooray, because it's a celebration when you see me. I want to appreciate y'all for tuning into Higher Self Wednesday, where I help you become your higher self on Wednesday. I want to appreciate y'all's eyes, ears, and attention, because it could have been anywhere else, but instead, it's right here with me. And I so very much appreciate that. All right. Now, today's video got a good discussion for you. We're going to be diving into cutting off your friends. Cutting off the ones that ain't good for you no more. All right? Now, I'm going to tell y'all about my experience. Okay? Now, I had some homies, you feel me? Day one, locked in, knew them for a real long time, childhood friends, and, we just kind of grew up. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't want to grow. One thing about friends is when you meet them at a certain point in your life. All right. Now, when you ain't at that same point in your life, it starts to show. Okay. I had a lot of friends that used to be around that was, lazy, disrespectful. They had their certain ways that I couldn't really get aligned with. So, I started weaving them out, right? But my homies, my day ones, like the ones who was locked in for real, they know my mama, they know my grandmama. I had to kind of like shed away from them as well. All right. Now, let me give you an example. So, I've been on this journey of, just bettering myself, just chasing after my goals, aligning myself with, the right intentions, doing the right things, trying to stay away from distractions, trying to better myself, all right? But when you tell your homies or when you tell your friends about that, they typically are stuck with, their mindset of how they had you. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can give you an example. I used to be a player. You know what I mean? I used to have ladies. I had hoes like I had clothes. You know what I'm talking about? But so my guy, that's how he met me. That's how we was, rocking and we was getting it, But when I told him, hey, that ain't me no more. Like I can't continue to give my energy to these women. I'm losing myself. Trying to explain it to him, but he still outside partying, chasing, you know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't do it no more. So that was one strike. All right. Then it was another time where he called me and, I'm focused on my goals. I'm locked in. I'm ready to, get my success. I'm disciplined. It's a whole new version of me, right? So he had called me and was just, chopping it up, He has a few goals in mind, and I'm like, oh, all right, babe, man, I like that. I like this type of energy. This is what I was waiting for from you. You calling me about girls and party and all that. I want to hear more discipline. Like, let me hear a little bit of that, right? So he called me, had a few little plans and All right. So I ain't hear from him in a little while. So maybe some weeks then went by. Then he called me again, right? On some foolishness. So I asked him, hey, the goals you had in mind and everything like that, what happened to that? Like, you still on that type of time? Oh, no, man. I'm like, why you ain't? Man, just procrastinating. All right. Okay. So you was playing the whole time when you was talking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I can't continue giving myself to somebody that ain't helping me get to where I got to get to. You know what I'm saying? What I had to learn about friends is they're not obligated to your success. They're not obligated to the better version of yourself, especially if they ain't trying to work on themselves. You can't continue trying to help somebody while you trying to help yourself. You know what I mean? It's hard trying to pull somebody else up when you trying to pull your own self up. They kind of just anchoring you, holding you down. You gotta shed them. You gotta let them go. Now, there ain't no beef. I don't hate them. I still got love for them. I still love them. They call. I still answer. But I ain't no more kick it. Like, I can't waste no more time. You know what I'm saying? So I had to draw the line in the sand and deal with them how I deal with them. You feel me? Now, a true friend will respect that. They will understand that. Now, if they ain't got no good intentions for you, oh, they gonna hate you. You know, they gonna talk bad about you. They gonna talk mess about you. But that's a good thing. So you realize, oh, they really want my friends anyway. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be selfish. You gotta be selfish with your success. You gotta be selfish with your life. No matter how long you've been with somebody, no matter how long you've been cool, it don't matter with today and the present moment. Y'all's history don't define y'all's future. You feel me? You met a person at a certain time in your life. They was good for that moment. Moments change, people change, and I had to accept that. One thing about aligning yourself with your purpose and, you know, staying disciplined with your focus and everything, you realize it's a lonely journey. You know, it ain't lonely because you cutting people off. It's lonely because the people that you thought you was gonna bring with you, they just can't fit. They just don't fit. You know, they're not helping you. They not guiding you. You can't get no game from them. You know when it's time to cut somebody off when every time y'all talking, it's you always giving the advice. You're not never receiving advice. You feel me? Now, you could be helpless. Ain't nothing wrong with helping and all that. But every time y'all talking, you always the one giving the game instead of receiving. That ain't no even trade-off. You know, you got to give and receive. But if you just giving, that relationship it's taken from you. You're not receiving nothing from it. You feel me? It all boils down to being truthful to yourself and being truthful to them. All right? Now, whoever it is, if they aren't helping, you gotta let them go. You gotta cut them off. Or you're gonna stay stagnant. You know, it's just a simple conversation. Like all the conversations I had with my homies, I let them know, hey, look, man, I am a different person. I changed at the core. Who you thought I was, I'm not that no more. But being friends for so long, it's hard for them to look at you in a different light. You feel me? They hold you to y'all's history. They hold you to your past. You know, I changed. You see me as I changed, but it's hard to when they know you for so long, they don't really believe it until they see it. You know what I mean? So you gotta kind of go in your cocoon, you know, in your cave. You gotta hide a little bit. You feel me? Just to stay out the way because you're gonna keep getting pulled into the history. You're gonna keep getting pulled into the past, and you can't go forward looking in the past. You feel me? So if your friends are holding you back, cut them off or restrict them. You know, hey, look, man, bro, what you doing? What you got going on, bro? Look, I'm in the lab. Look, I'm focused. I can't, you know, da. If you got an audio book, you can send it to me or something. We can get it on. You know what I mean? But they don't want to talk about books they read. They want to talk about women and all that foolishness. But when you change, you change. You feel me? So to tell y'all, don't ever feel guilty. Don't ever feel upset. Don't ever feel mad about cutting somebody off that isn't helping you. I don't care who it is. This season is all about putting the focus in on you. Being selfish. Ain't nothing wrong with being selfish. Just putting yourself first. You can't help somebody if yourself ain't helped. Okay? So help yourself first. Get yourself together without any distractions. If anybody pulling you back, holding you back, cut them loose so you can continue moving forward. Now, once you're forward, then you'll be able to help. But I want to appreciate y'all for tuning in with your top dollar. Spread some love today. Okay? Find somebody to help. All right? Peace, love, and prosperity. I holla.